Saddle up, because seismic shifts are shaking the foundation of the mile-high city, with whispers of massive roster shakeups and a strategic masterstroke destined to redefine your team's fate in 2026. You are about to get the inside scoop on the precise factors that derailed your championship dreams, and crucially, the exact steps you must take to hoist that Lombardi Trophy when next February rolls around. Forget idle off-season chatter. This is your concrete blueprint for vengeance, and the mission begins this very second. Before you learn which heavy hitters are surfacing in private meetings, including a Super Bowl MVP potentially donning your colors soon, smash that like button if you know this squad is merely inches from immortality. And assuming you ride or die with this franchise regardless of the odds, sound off in the comments declaring that 2026 is officially your year of retribution. Enough with the preamble. Let's dive directly into the intel because here is exactly where you stand. The worldwide leader in sports released their premature 2026 hierarchy moments after the confetti fell, and you definitely need to pay attention to this ranking. Sitting on the throne at number 1, naturally, are the newly crowned champions from Seattle. New England grabbed the second spot despite their playoff exposure, followed by the Rams in third. But you need to guess who secured that fourth position. Exactly, it is your Denver squad. And the analysts had a simple 3-word prescription for your success. Find some pop. They mean dynamic, game-breaking talent, sending a message that you desperately need to make major waves. You require a monumental acquisition, not some average player who might eventually improve, but a bona fide superstar. An insider at ESPN made it brutally obvious that when you look back at the 2025 campaign, your attack was undeniably lackluster. Even with steady quarterback play, you sat at 14th in points and found it nearly impossible to create spark plays downfield. You languished at 29th in quick punts and average in big gains. So let's contextualize those numbers for you. The other 3 squads battling in the conference title matches ranked 1st, 2nd, and 4th in generating those massive plays. You must ascend to that elite tier if you genuinely intend to compete for the crown. Consider the disturbing fact that your running back, who vanished after November 6th, still topped your charts for breakaway rushes. That statistic screams volumes about your backfield woes, but fortunately, you are sitting on a projected $28 to $30 million in cap room. With that massive quarterback contract finally cleared, you are positioned to hunt elite talent in a manner you haven't experienced in ages. Your acquisitions last season showed potential, bringing in defensive stalwarts and solid contributors, including safety help and a reliable tight end. Yet none were the marquee names that dominate headlines, which is about to shift. The class of 2026 is loaded with dynamic weapons capable of instantly supercharging your scoring unit. Rumors are swirling around several stars, but one specific receiver demands your immediate attention. You have been clamoring for this playmaker, largely due to his known chemistry and friendship with your current wideout. Yet the narrative twisted when reports surfaced that Dallas intends to lock him down with a franchise tag. That move does not seal your fate entirely, as it could be a negotiation tactic or a precursor to a trade, though it certainly muddies the waters. Insiders suggest a swap is still feasible before the market opens, provided you navigate the timing around his recent minor knee surgery. If Dallas decides to entertain proposals, however, this volatile receiver could be exactly the spark you crave, even if your opportunity to strike is shrinking rapidly. Pivot your focus now to the most intriguing prospect available, the freshly crowned Super Bowl MVP. You saw him demolish defenses throughout the playoffs, racking up unprecedented yardage over a 3-game stretch unseen in a quarter century, including 135 yards on the ground in the finale, and he is officially on the market. Surprisingly, Seattle has not locked him up, and while pundits doubt he leaves, the player himself admitted the choice is out of his hands. He expressed a desire to remain, yet acknowledged that the final verdict belongs entirely to management, and you know perfectly well how hesitant franchises are to pay premiums for running backs. A homegrown legend recently urged your team to chase this superstar, which speaks volumes. You better listen when a former player who embodies your team's spirit publicly campaigns for a specific talent. This runner offers you explosive acceleration, top-end velocity, and a proven history of performing on the biggest stages. While his blocking and receiving skills might be average, your roster possesses the tools to mask those minor deficiencies. You have versatile backs and blocking schemes utilizing tight ends to cover protection duties. This pairing feels like destiny. And looking at your current running back room, it feels absolutely essential. Your current starter is hitting free agency with massive uncertainty surrounding his future. You see RJ Harvey at number 2, but he hasn't proven he can grind inside yet. Plus, you have three other backs hitting free agency. You have got Jaleel sitting there as a restricted free agent while Tyler Beatty falls under early rights. You know the backfield is unstable right now, creating a massive opportunity to bring in a powerhouse like Kenneth Walker. If you ask yourself honestly, making a move for Kenneth Walker just makes too much sense to ignore. You are looking at a Super Bowl MVP in his absolute prime, who just delivered one of the most dominant playoff runs you have witnessed in decades. He racked up over 150 scrimmage yards in the Super Bowl alone, winning MVP honors without even crossing the goal line. Just imagine the level of dominance you need to command that award in such a low-scoring defensive struggle. Suddenly, he is potentially up for grabs, untethered by any long-term contract extension. Walker admits it is out of his hands, meaning if Seattle balks at paying a running back, as history suggests, you are looking at the hottest name available. Denver sits in the ideal spot to strike, because you already know the Broncos are preparing to be aggressive. That three-word demand from ESPN to find some pop was not just a casual suggestion for you to brush off. It was a mandate acknowledging you are on the brink of glory but lack that specific offensive spark to conquer the summit. Reflect on the AFC Championship heartbreak, and how losing Bo Nix completely devastated your momentum. Even before that injury, you lacked the firepower to hang with the elite deep in the playoffs, languishing at 14th in scoring. You cannot expect to win championships when you are stuck in offensive mediocrity, while the rivals you chase are top 4 in explosive plays. This is exactly where the puzzle pieces snap into place for you. Kenneth Walker creates a new offensive identity, as his chunk plays would instantly drag you out of that 15th place slump in explosive yardage. His gravity would force defenses to crowd the box, clearing wide open lanes for your receivers. Never forget that this offense already possesses weapons. You just need a catalyst to alleviate the pressure. You need that playmaker who can conjure magic out of thin air, even when the blocking completely collapses. That defines Kenneth Walker. But now you need to shift focus back to the George Pickens saga because it is far from finished. The Cowboys tagging him does not ensure he stays in Dallas. It could be leverage, a short rental, or a setup for a trade. That final option is where you could strike gold since Pickens already shares undeniable chemistry with Courtland Sutton. They are close off the field, meaning that potential pairing on the turf could be dangerous. Picture Sutton pulling the double teams while Pickens obliterates single coverage on the opposite flank. It creates a nightmare for defenses. But the million-dollar question remains, what assets would Dallas demand from you? Denver wields the draft capital, the cap flexibility, and a front office that realizes the time to go all in is now. You are done with half measures and scavenging through the bargain bin during free agency. If the Broncos intend to return to the Super Bowl, you must execute bold maneuvers and embrace calculated risks. With a wide-open window, top 5 ranking, young quarterback, and elite defense, it is now or never, even if you are wondering about the draft. That is a valid point since you know fresh talent is flooding the league at receiver and running back. However, draft picks bring uncertainty, and you have no guarantee a rookie will dominate from day one. When you acquire Kenneth Walker and George Pickens, you understand exactly the caliber of firepower you are receiving. You get explosive, battle-tested warriors. And since J.K. Dobbins is likely departing, you are building an arsenal, not just filling spots. That creates a massive void, and if you stand pat hoping a mid-round rookie steps up, you are playing with fire. You witnessed exactly how that strategy unraveled last season. When Dobbins went down and the backup wasn't ready, your engine stalled, leaving you ranked 29th in 3-and-outs. You cannot let that happen again during what might be the most pivotal offseason in recent history. The choices made or missed will determine if you return to the AFC title fight or watch the Super Bowl from your couch. You know the roster is close and the foundation is solid. The only question is whether George Payton and the brass will push their chips to the center of the table. Strap in for a wild ride, Broncos country, because the coming months will barrage you with rumors, talks, and twists. Rest assured, this team is not sitting idle. They are poised to attack. They are hunting for that pop, ESPN demanded. And if they hit their targets, the NFL best prepare because the Broncos are coming. If you valued this breakdown, verify that you are subscribed for more exclusive Broncos coverage every single week. Crush that like if you trust the destiny awaiting this franchise. Sound off below on whether Denver must bet the house on Kenneth Walker, George Pickens, or the pair of them. Your next obsession is appearing right now. Click through and keep your eyes glued here.